A lot of our films don't get made. There's a lot of people who are great writers, who are great actors, and our films don't get made. This film got made because we went a very unconventional route.
Michael Sowell from Washington, D.C. First, I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak with you. This film for this whole year been my favorite film this year. When I was interviewing Aunjanue and Andra for the Deliverance, I said I had to give them their props for this film because all of you guys collectively basically gave me a blessing watching this film. And with this film, obviously talks about the topic of forgiveness, particularly in the Black community. And it revealed an area where in my life, where at the end of watching that film, I had a call to action. What call to action would you want to give to audiences when they're watching this film, revealing areas of unforgiveness in their life and people they need to forgive too, or forgive themselves?
Wow. I mean, I can't help but like ask what your call to action was. What was it? What was the call to action for you? I don't want to let you off the hook that easy.
No, I'm glad that. No, thank you. Throwing that back at me. No, I think it's also as I'm me and my wife, you know, we just got married, how that there was areas in our life where I had to forgive, my mother. As I'm, eventually becoming a parent, is that seeing that how the unforgiveness of that when I was growing up as a kid, I didn't understand why she was so overprotective of me, and I felt like to the point I was being suffocated sometimes. But really, at the end of the day, now in my adult life, I'm having a sense of being grateful because I know that some people didn't have that, and I didn't understand that as a child. And then I actually gave her the gratitude when I was a child, and I do now as an adult. So it basically just want to say I had to give her apology. Hey, mom, and I didn't treat you right as I was getting, growing up. I just want to offer you a sincere apology. But then she apologized to me because she understand, like, hey,
Wow.
yeah, I might have been too overprotective, but it's all out of love because I didn't get that. I didn't receive that. So and now here we are having this conversation from parent to child as I'm reaching parenthood. So if anything, it was just a blessing just having that conversation that I feel like I didn't have growing up. So yeah, and that's where the call to action was for me.
I love that, man. I mean,
Yeah.
dude, how often do you get to work on something that has this kind of impact in the world, right? Like we made some art. That's what we did. We made some art and it went out to the world and folks are coming back and telling us like what that work is doing. See, this is the work actually working. And so, you ask about a call to action, and I think the challenge for me with the call to action is what I am beginning to understand is everybody takes the thing that they need out of this film. So let me give you an example. My auntie and my cousin came to see the film in New York, and my cousin, we grew up very much the same way. He was sometimes on the back of that truck with me. And his father and my father, they ran together in the streets. It was very, yeah, whatever. We ain't got to get into details about that. But my auntie, she saw the film, and at the end, she goes, "Baby, I'm so happy that he forgave his father at the end of this film. Like I know it was hard. I know it was hard, but I'm so happy." And my cousin was like, "He ain't forgive him. What you talking about? That's not what happened, right?" And so I've now come to realize that depending on where you are in your journey, you will interpret the end of this film in a way that's necessary for you. And so as far as like a call to action, my call to action is only to open yourself up to the experience. Like open yourself up to the experience in watching this film and let the work do its work.
Um, it's funny when you say call to action. I mean, I think about some of my friends, right? That have real daddy issues,
Mm.
and they're like, in their 60s. You know what I mean? And I'm saying, whoa, how can that continue on for that long? And then they said, man, if you only knew what was done to me as a child,
Hmm.
those things have taken toll on me over the years and inside of my relationship. So I guess I would say that the call to action for me would be that start really going in, even if that person is basically no longer here on this planet, you still got to figure out a way to deal with it within yourself. Like, like how do you kind of reconcile inside of yourself what this is? And like Titus said, you're gonna pull something from this film that's gonna help you.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And once again, with these guys, I had one friend that saw it. He said, wow, I walked down the street after the film was over and I had to take a long walk. And he said the whole time I was walking, I was just looking up at the sky. Me and my dad had been gone 20 years. This is what my friend said. He said, but I kept saying, I forgive you, Dad. I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you. So yeah, like Ty said, you're gonna be able to pull something from this that's gonna help you. And especially, like I said, with people that definitely have daddy issues.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say much better than that, man. The only thing I would share is I feel like maybe for me personally, like, I don't know that I necessarily feel like there is a single call to action, right? Like that I hope people go out and do any certain thing. I mean, we're doing a lot already in our lives, right? Part of what I think the like magic of cinema and of theater is that, you know, broadly speaking, it's a dark place into which we shine light, right? And so if we imagine our bodies, our psyches as that dark room, you know, maybe shining the light of our consciousness on things that we've buried inside is the work, right? Like maybe that's the work, just to become aware of the things that maybe we haven't talked about or haven't expressed that may or may not lead to forgiveness or have even to do with forgiveness. It may just be that kind of inner self work, you know, that we need to do. So if nothing else, I hope it invites people to consider for themselves, what are the things that I haven't shed light on in my life? So I think that's one. If there is a like more call to action thing, I will just offer, I hope that people feel inspired to tell other people to come and see the movie.
There you
Because,
go. There you go.
This
Totally,
film
yes.
is like, you know, it was so, Titus can speak best about this. It was so challenging to make this movie, you know, and I think had he chosen to go the traditional route, I don't know that the movie would have gotten made, right? And when I think about all of the movies like this, all the movies that Black and brown folks work so hard to try to make, we can't afford to lose this art, you know, and I think the only way that I could think of, right, that we can continue to make stories like these is if people come out in droves and see it and support it and talk about it and tell other people to go and see it and talk about it. So I hope y'all find it. I hope your readers and listeners find it useful, and I hope they come and check us out.
Can I don't know how much time we have, but I would actually like to step into that conversation just a little bit. I feel like this is the right context to have that conversation. A lot of our films don't get made. There's a lot of people who are great writers, who are great actors, and our films don't get made. This film got made because we went a very unconventional route. We didn't go with Hollywood funding to make this thing happen. We had folks who were coming to us saying that they would give us funding, but that funding had strings attached to it. We'll give you the money, but you got to cast that person, you got to cast that person. And it's the same lineup. But how do we grow up the next generation of talent if we keep choosing the same people every single time? It doesn't make any sense to me at all. So I sent my script to a friend, and I said to him, I said, this is my script. Just take a read. He read it. He came back. He said, look, I don't know anything about Hollywood and I don't know anything about making movies, but I have money and I'd be happy to give it to you in order to make this film. So what that meant was, his name is Sean Cotton. What that meant was,
You got his number.
That's right.
He'll be here on the 24th. What that meant was we had the freedom to do it the way that we wanted to do it. What that meant was when Hollywood said, oh, this is what you're supposed to do, this is who you're supposed to choose, we could go, nah, that ain't what we want to do. We're trying to make art over here. So y'all can stay over there with that. And we are going to be here and make this film. And so we were able to make a film that I now recognize, maybe y'all already knew, but I now recognize is not what Hollywood expects. This is not your traditional go into the movie. This is a different thing. This is, in many ways, this is a mission-driven film. And we are realizing, as I said before, that the work is now in the world doing the work that it needs to do. And so the call to action is what Andre said, for real. And that is, Hollywood will not understand that we want to see our lives reflected in this way unless we show up at the theaters. For better or worse, that's how the tally is counted. That's how we know. That's the measure of success in this particular industry. So the call to action, go see the movie, go tell somebody that you love to see the movie,
Mhm.
and then, you know, maybe go see the movie again. So,
No, it's absolutely got my wife to watch it again, making a sermon out of it. So yeah, definitely. But thank you guys. Thank you for this blessing. Thank you.
Built with bricks that we were never given.